Hey, everybody, and welcome back. It's episode 19 of Joystick Maverick. The vacations are over, but the fun has
Right.
just begun. That's right.
Yeah.
What's up, Dom? How you doing, baby?
What's up, brother? It's been a while,
Yeah,
dude. It's good, man. I'm good. How about you? You good?
not too bad. Just have my little health issues. I posted it on our socials. I mean, you had your birthday. Mahaffey's birthday's coming up on Saturday. How old do you think Mahaffey is? No,
At
don't tell me.
least 53.
I'm gonna go with 75. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's not a
old. He's old as shit, dude.
he's not a page under 90. Like he
No,
is.
not even a
He's like
little
if
bit.
he looks like a very beautiful elderly version of Oliver Queen, though. He's
He
got that
looks
face.
good for being as old as
Mm,
he
yeah.
is, to be honest. I mean, if I were that old, I probably wouldn't have looked that good. So
I mean, to be fair, like, how old was Steve Rogers? Like 100, still killing it. But
it's true.
that's who we're
Yeah.
comparing you to, Mahaffey. Once again,
Yeah. Fuck you too,
I'm
Mike.
Ernie
That's okay.
Hawkins. Yeah, we're not going to S your D too hard in this episode, but enjoy that little bit there. I'm Ernie Hawkins. This is Dom Irvin.
Yeah.
We are your
Hey.
hosts. Mahaffey is our producer for the show, as always. Should be joining us next week in a couple of future episodes. But man, it feels good to be back. I definitely am excited about what we've got to talk about today because it's kind of a big recap. Like this is
Huge. We've been gone for 3 weeks and everything happened in 3 weeks.
dog. Like to say that everything's happened in 3 weeks is an understatement, and I
Yeah.
think we're not even going to hit all the topics. Like I've been sitting here like noodling around through our massive list, and we're going to try to be quick with it. I really do want to kind of keep this to a tighter format, as we constantly say. Yet every time I say that, I feel like it budges a little bit longer, but we're going to do our best. We're going to have a big lightning round, so hopefully that kind of skims over a lot of it.
Right.
But man, let's get started. What do you say?
Yeah, bud.
Boom. All right, here we go. This episode, as always, is brought to you by toughraps.com. If you're drinking energy drinks, I'm going to say it right now. Listen, as
Your
a guy
heart
who
will
drinks energy
explode.
drinks, yeah,
Don't
it's going
drink
to
them.
explode. You don't need all that crap. Here's what you need to do: save yourself some money. Don't spend $5-6 on like, oh, it's 2 for $4. Don't do that. Take the time, take the money, buy yourself some pre-workout from toughraps.com. Use code joystick at checkout for 10% off, and just a little baby scoop will do you. Little boop. You're going to save yourself so much money, and you're going to get the same kind of jolt that you would from an energy drink, but it's also a supplement. It's supplementing things your body's already producing, and get you there and get you that quick burst of energy you're looking for. I love it because I don't feel itchy. The flavor I have is tiger's blood. Supposedly, the only person that could probably confirm that was, in fact, tiger's blood is Charlie Sheen. It's still an old joke, but a good joke. But
Yeah,
either
no,
way,
I think we keep lean into it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And if that's what tiger's blood tastes like, why are we not eating them more? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Animal rights.
But oh, PETA, sorry. When did you get here? Where you been here the whole time, PETA? Jesus.
Yep.
And I love it. Again, code joystick at checkout, toughraps.com. This week's State of Gaming is a doozy. Today is actually kind of a big day. So it's September 23rd. If you were to tell me like 3 days ago, hey, by the way, September 23rd is going to be big, I'd be like, yeah, because we have episode 19. And then you look at like all the crap that came out today.
Yeah. Why does this
Dude.
always happen to us? It's usually on a show day where it's like, hey, we're going to drop a new trailer for a Marvel movie, and then we're going to do a whole bunch
Yeah.
of other bullshit. Like, that's usually what
I'm pretty
happens.
sure it was like what Shang-Chi had like their big trailer
It
drop
was
in the
like
middle of our
45 minutes
episode.
before. It was like in the
Yeah.
middle of our episode. It was
Like
ridiculous.
I don't know how the people at HBO and with Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, they can kind of get a little bit ahead of it, but at the same time some of that stuff's like a day old because they probably do it on Saturday, but we're live in the moment. You're here on Twitch, on YouTube live, or if you're listening tomorrow, this is as close to it gets, because at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time
2 hours
today,
ago.
Nintendo Direct dropped yet another like 40 minutes of content, and going to lead us through it is my guy, Dom.
Yeah.
Talk
So
to me, Goose.
Nintendo Direct, been anticipated for a while. Everybody does this. Everybody's like, Nintendo Direct this week, Nintendo Direct this week. I'm guilty of it. Our friends over at thefreecheese.com, Joe Dix, literally texts me every day. Back in the day was like, hey, is there a Nintendo Direct today? Well, it's February 11th. So yeah, today. Um, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. It was a pretty meaty Nintendo Direct. They kicked it off with the a new Monster Hunter expansion that's coming out next year from Capcom. That looks really cool. And then they came in and literally before they started saying everything, the gentleman was like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about Smash Brothers, but like on October. We're not gonna talk about it right now. Like we're gonna reveal it. The last fighter for Smash
The-
Ultimate is gonna be revealed
eh,
on October 5th.
so an announcement for an announcement.
Announcement for them. Fucking typical
That
Nintendo.
makes no sense. Is Nintendo Direct? I mean, okay, this is me being a dummy. Okay, spoiler alert. I don't own a Switch. I haven't owned a Nintendo console since the last time my parents bought me one. Um, that was a while ago, by the way. Very long. I'm old. It's been ages.
Not as old as Mike.
My mom got shoved into a Barbie display at a 6 a.m. opening. Never again. Never forget. But so correct me if I'm wrong. Nintendo Direct, is that like a quarterly kind of stream for them now?
It's
Like, 'cause I feel like you
typically
just
at
had
their
it 2
leisure.
episodes
No,
ago.
it's at their leisure.
Uh,
It's like, hey,
So is
today's
this announcement of an
Thursday.
announcement?
It
Yeah.
is. So
You know why they
it's at
chose
their
October
leisure.
5th? Because October is the 10th month and divided it by 2 is 5,
5.
and so October 5th. That's the only
Yep,
thing. That's the only reason.
absolutely. And September 23rd is 2 days after September 21st, which is that, Earth, Wind, and Fire
The,
song.
the spring
So,
equinox. And yeah, do you remember the
yeah,
21st night of September?
there you
They
go.
do because they 2 days later. But what
But
else was
yeah,
announced?
so after that though, it was pretty much just like hit after hit after hit, which was really cool. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a new Switch game coming in 2022. It's a 3D Kirby game, which is the first that we've gotten in a while, which is awesome.
Wow.
Uh there is the biggest announcement for me, like everything. I want to get into this real quick. Is Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, and for those of you who don't know, Nintendo likes to add things to other things that don't make any sense and charge money for them, but then you buy them because it's Nintendo and they're like they give you some cool shit with it. So, the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack was announced today. It's coming out in October. They haven't said how much it's going to cost, but what the big thing is that it's including Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games in that pack.
That's probably the biggest thing to me is that it's a Sega Genesis
Yeah,
inclusion there, right?
right. Like
Like
I could give a shit.
when
Like
did it
I would be
become like why are Nintendo and Sega suddenly friends? I mean, yeah,
well.
everybody loves
Sonic was in
money.
Smash Brothers, so
Yeah, but
and the
like that's
Dreamcast
one
was
off. You know, there's a license
cool,
there, but yeah, the Dreamcast is cool. But yeah,
but
I always appreciated the war there, and I guess like I'll just never get off that
yeah.
hill of like fuck Sega because I love Nintendo. That's
But this is cool. So they showed all the hits that you would want to see from a Nintendo 64 reveal. It's like, let's start off with Ocarina of Time. Yes, I'm already in. I will pay for the monthly subscription just to play that on my Nintendo Switch. Super
nice.
Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, Yoshi's Story. All of those coming day and date. They also showed that Banjo Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F Zero X are all coming in the future for this service. Fucking hell yeah. Are you kidding me? I'll pay for this. And
Yeah, sign me up just for F-Zero X and Star Fox. Those two
yeah,
alone,
Star Fox is so fucking good.
so
Oh my
good,
god.
so good.
On the Sega Genesis side, you have Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is the best Sonic.
Of
Streets of
course.
Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, which is fantastic. Castlevania Bloodlines, also great. Contra, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which, if you watch, isn't that the game that they talked about in Mythic Quest, that episode
Yep.
with Nick from New Girl?
Oh yeah.
Best episode of television in a long time. Golden Axe, Gunstar Hero, Musha, Fantasy Star 4, Rise Star, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. Um, those are
Damn.
some big hitters. Like, there's a lot of
Damn.
cool shit there. Really excited about that. So, no pricing yet, no real release date. It says it's coming next month. My guess is I'm hoping that it's going to be like an extra $5-10 at the most. Um,
Hopefully.
hopefully. But Nintendo Switch Online is pretty cheap already, so I don't know. I mean, they may be like $50 a month for everything, not a month, $50 a year for everything. Which is what
That would make sense.
like old PlayStation. Or I think PlayStation Network costs 60 now.
Yeah.
And then Xbox Game Pass is $14.99 a month, but that comes with fucking literally everything.
Right.
Also announced with that are Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis controllers for Switch. I don't know why you would ever want to buy an N64 controller. It's literally the worst
The
controller.
worst controller.
The
The
GameCube
worst
controller
controller.
sucks too, but the N64 controller is terrible.
Yeah. I would only
Um,
get a Genesis one for nostalgia, period.
right.
And
The
that's it.
Genesis one's dope, and it has to be the small one because the big one's terrible too. um,
Yes.
so other announcements: Splatoon 3 gameplay. No date announced for that. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is the expansion.
Another
Um,
Monster Hunter game.
yeah,
Another one.
they
God,
keep making those. Animal
they're making
Crossing is
money.
getting its own direct in October, which is fucking sweet. Mario Party Superstars comes out uh, in October 29th. Sugar. Here's the best. Here's. You ready for this? This is the
Yeah.
most important announcement.
Talk to me.
Miyamoto came out and announced the cast of the Super Mario Brothers movie animated that's coming December 21st to 2021. Now let's roll through the cast, shall we?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt will play Mario, which is terrible. It should be Charles Martinet. I don't know why Chris Pratt is playing Mario.
Why would you? Yeah. Why would you?
Why wouldn't you just use Charles Martinet, who he's going to be in the movie? They even said Charles Martinet's going to be in the movie, but he's not playing Mario. However, the rest of this casting pretty awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy from New Mutants, The Queen's Gambit, Split. She
Yep.
will be playing Princess Peach. Charlie Day of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia will be playing
Oh,
Luigi. I fucks with
that's dope.
that.
That's dope.
Seth
That's dope.
Rogen will be playing Donkey Kong. Keegan Michael Key will be playing Toad. Uh, and Jack Black will be playing Bowser. So pretty interesting
How
cast.
much money? I mean,
Yo,
granted,
it's
Nintendo's
it's
got all the
Nintendo.
money, right?
They're
I
like,
mean,
who can we get that's the most star power? And they got the
um,
worst of the three Marvel Chris's. Um,
yeah, if we're gonna
just kidding.
choose
I
between
don't.
Chris's, Chris Pratt
Right.
is the worst of the Chris Pratts
Of
of the
the
Chris's.
three
Excuse me.
Marvel, actually, yeah, of the three Marvel Chris's, Chris Pratt is the worst because
And then you
Evans.
got Chris Pine, who is yet even in any Marvel. I
That's
mean,
right.
you could have
He's pretty good.
Pine, you could have Chris Pratt, you could Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Uh, mm, what are you doing?
Okay, so still going, still more stuff. Castlevania Advanced Collection brings 4 Castlevania classics to Switch, which is awesome. That comes out today. I which is so cool. Our Renaissance is a remaster of an SNES game called Arc Razor that is out
Mm,
today. Um, Yoko Taro, who is the guy behind Near Automata, as well as some of the Final Fantasy 14 content,
mm.
is doing an RPG, a card RPG called Voice of Card Heads, and it heads to Switch in October, which is
I
pretty cool.
saw that. If I'm being totally honest, that's
I
one of
think
those
that's the
games
first
I
thing.
would probably like, and not to be too detailed about my day, but if I was ever going to be stuck in a restroom for a little while, that's
Yeah,
probably the game I would pull up like, regularly because it feels like it's very much like I saw the clip of it. It feels very much like a elongated quest type game where really the world exists in these card forms. Love collecting cards as a kid anyway, so it's kind of it hits a lot of all the spots I like.
absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna blow through the next few pretty quickly.
What up?
New trailer for Hyrule Warriors Calamity, with Age of Calamity, which is the new expansion for Hyrule Warriors, the Dynasty Warriors style Zelda game. Deltarune Chapter 2, that makes its way to Switch today. Mario Golf is getting new characters and courses. Dying Light 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch in February. And then Disco Elysium is coming to Switch on October 12th. That was like Game of the Year a couple years back for a lot of people. It's like an RPG kind of over the head style RPG.
Right.
They
So Final Cut, does it just mean it's the same exact game and now there's a little bit of additional content, or is it
I
like
think they've
Final
been
Cut like that's like a pun in the game, like people get cut? This is the last one.
I think it's like the director's cut. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay.
Chocobo GP is a Final Fantasy racing game that looks very much like Mario Kart 8. Almost exactly like Mario Kart 8, which I think might be illegal. But
Unless Nintendo's making
unless Nintendo's making money, it's
money,
a Switch
then they
game.
don't care.
Um,
That's right.
that looks really cool though. Chocobo GP, it's characters from Final Fantasy. I saw Ramu, I saw Gilgamesh, I saw Chocobo, I think I saw Bahamut in there too. Pretty cool. And then lastly, Bayonetta 3 was shown, which people have been talking about Bayonetta 3 for
Right.
years. It was announced a couple years ago. We haven't heard anything. The director of Bayonetta 3 got on Twitter and started yelling at people because they were like, no, motherfucker, this game's not canceled, but we're not talking about it all the time. But like, hey, fucker, you showed a title 4 years ago and haven't said shit. So maybe just let us know. But that's it. Last thing, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is coming to Switch, but that's not the last time we'll talk about Knights of the Old Republic today.
Damn right. I was almost like for this next topic now, I was almost tempted for us to like do like a bit every time we discuss something that was like being rebooted, remade, or resurrected. I think we should have like I don't know, like did some hand clapping or like had some kind of nervous tick because here we are yet again. I think at multiple episodes I'm always griping, but to be fair, I love Diablo 2 playing with my friends and things like that. So this Diablo 2 Resurrected came out today. That's why it's the second topic, right
Yeah,
behind Nintendo
this came
Direct.
out today at 11 o'clock this morning.
That's crazy. It's basically the same Diablo game plus the expansion Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, but now in higher def. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're not like there's
No,
not
yeah,
newer content. It's just like
I don't.
remastered audio, brand new cinematics, and the classic
Yeah,
gameplay.
it's definitely not. There's no new content in it. As far as I know. But it is, yeah, it's Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Lords of Destruction remastered,
That's what's up.
completely
That's
rebuilt
what's
from
up.
the ground up. It looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play it. I love Diablo. I played the shit out of Diablo 3. I played Diablo 2 a little bit when I was a kid, but um
I played a little bit, and then every time I would leave the person's house who had a computer that would run it, they would delete my character. So I have a love hate relationship with this game.
Morgan
I
V said the
appreciate the
cow level
memories,
is
but
repeatable. That's a big deal.
Morgan V, the cow level is repeatable.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Nice.
Also, he says
That's
not
awesome.
game mechanics can be copied, and I'm guessing he's talking about Chocobo GP. Yeah, game
Ah,
mechanics
yeah.
can be copied, but it's a recreation of Mario Kart 8. The
Game mechanics.
courses
I think
even
you
look
turn
the
left,
same.
turn right, hit a button to go forward, right? Maybe
You even
reverse.
go through balloons instead of boxes to get powers.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean,
see. I'll play it. Fuck it.
next up, Psychonauts 2. I remember the original Psychonauts, and I
This
remember
is a cult
not playing
classic.
it.
I didn't play it either.
Yeah, but like
Everybody who played it
everybody
loved it.
loved it. Everybody loved it. So this is straight from stream. Rasputin Raz Aguato. Damn, Happy, where's my pronunciations, Bubba?
Yeah,
Trained acrobat and powerful young psychic
fucking up.
has realized his lifelong dream of joining the international psychic espionage organization known as the Psychonauts. But this psychic super spies are in, but sorry, excuse me, but these psychic super spies are in trouble. Their leader hasn't been the same since he was rescued from a kidnapping. And what's worse, there's a mole hiding in the headquarters. I
You can go
haven't seen
on.
any
I
gameplay
don't
for
even know
this.
what you just said. I don't even know what this game's about.
Combining quirky missions and mysterious conspiracies, Psychonauts 2 is a platform adventure game with cinematic style, tons of customizable psychic powers. Psychonauts 2 serves up danger, excitement, and laughs in equal measure as players guide Raz on a journey through the minds of friends and foes on a quest to defeat a murderous psychic villain.
I bet
Cool.
it's sweet. Like I said, Psychonauts 1 was a cult classic. People love that fucking game. So
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2 is
Now,
probably really good.
this was actually going to be before we went on hiatus for a couple of weeks. This was actually going to be our first topic out of the gate, so I wanted to keep it in here because I mean I love this kind of like the game style as far as the
Yeah, it
graphics
looks cool.
concerned. So it's just plus Psychonauts is hilarious. The next up, this game is actually so this is kind of I confused this game with another game this week, Death Loop, and then this game are kind of similar in my mind. For those watching right now, which you know the
Oh, you know
people,
what? I
but
see that.
tomorrow when you actually see something, or if you're just listening, there's two or three. There's three major actors that are doing voices for this game. This game is more or less a real-time top-down interactive thriller with an accessible click and drag interface. But the voices is pretty dope. Are James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. That right there sold me on the game immediately, and I was super thrilled. And then somebody mentioned that there's another game that's called Deathloop is 3D. So now it's like, okay, are we just in like a little tiny window where like time loop games are becoming a thing? Like, do we need to bring Prince of Persia back? Like, how is this going to
Prince
start
of Persia
happening?
is coming back.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Is
it
Jake
is coming back.
Gyllenhaal going to be voicing the main character? Like,
Oh, so we're gonna make Prince of Persia with a white guy?
I didn't do it.
Well, that's
Wasn't
not a
me.
problem.
Wasn't me. But supposedly, what should be a romantic evening with your wife turns into a nightmare when a police detective breaks into your house, accuses your wife of murder, and beats you to death. Only for you to find yourself immediately returned to the exact moment you opened the front door, stuck in a 12-minute time loop, doomed to relive the terror again and again, unless you can find a way to use the knowledge of what's coming to change the outcome and break the loop. 12 minutes blends the dreamlike tension of The Shining with the claustrophobia of Rear Window and the fragmented structure of Memento.
That is a lot of big movies that they said,
That's a lot of name drops.
and a
Like, that's
lot
a
of
lot of
names.
name
Like,
drops.
yeah, so we're gonna drop Chris Nolan, Alfred Hitchcock, and Stephen King all in the same fucking.
Yeah, and what's great is like this like Tribeca Film Festival
Right,
like
it looks like
acknowledgement
it.
here.
Yeah,
That's pretty hilarious. I mean, it's granted it's an interactive kind of thing, but to a point, maybe I guess it is kind of necessarily a story in regards, right? Most games are they have a narrative,
yeah.
but yeah,
I heard this
interesting
is really
stuff.
cool though. I'm actually very interested to play it too.
I definitely want to give it a shot. I believe it's out on Game Pass. I'm not 100% accurate on that. Please don't charge me if that's wrong, but I definitely want to play it. And same thing with Deathloop. Heard positive vibes all
I
over
was I
them.
was so sick of seeing Deathloop because it was at every single press conference for
Oh,
two and
was
a
it?
half years. And I was like, fucking, what is this game? Like, it's arcane. I get it. It's like Dishonored. And then it came out and IGN gave it a 10. And I was like, fuck, do I want to buy Deathloop? And then I was like, nah, it'll come to Game Pass eventually. So
Of
Mike and I have
course.
literally gone back and forth
There
about
you go.
Deathloop. Um,
User Mike whatever just said, I played it. It's great.
it's
And
on
it's
Game
on
Pass.
Game Pass. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Whatever. Appreciate you.
You're still old.
Uh, yes, he is. Star Wars Hunters. I saw the trailer for this. I'm actually like, I don't know. I'm torn. It's like, is this more just like a goofball version of like Smash Bros with Star Wars characters, which is great. I'll play that. Let's be real. But at the same time, like, is there any kind of true storyline to it? If not, okay, fine. Just tell me up front. I definitely more than likely end up playing this game.
Well, yeah, it's Star Wars. I typically play anything that's Star Wars, even if it's shitty.
True. I think anybody who's a Star Wars head of any kind will more than likely end up playing any Star Wars game.
I
It's
started
it's
asking Mike
unfortunate,
Mahaffey where to buy
but
lightsabers because I'm on apparently lightsaber TikTok these days. So like,
nice,
it's all
nice.
jacked men and beautiful women twirling lightsabers, and I'm like, I want to be a part of that.
I thought you were talking about your Twitch or TikTok algorithm. But I didn't
No,
know
I
if you
am
were
talking
looking
about my
over my
TikTok
shoulder.
algorithm.
Yes. So the synopsis for this is pretty straightforward. It's an upcoming competitive arena combat game being developed by Zynga for Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. The game is set after the fall of the Galactic Empire, featuring a new set of characters, including bounty hunters, rebellion heroes, and Imperial stormtroopers. Should be fun. If you haven't seen the trailer, go
Yeah.
out and watch it now. We're not going to throw it to you because, we don't want to get sued.
Nope.
But guess what?
This is a
There's
Star Wars
more.
game I can get behind.
Yes, sir.
This is how you open a press conference. This is how you
Dude.
open a press conference.
Dude,
You
the
show me a game
cinematic.
that came out fucking 20 years ago.
Here's our bit. Here's our little hand waving bit. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is getting a full on remake that has been signed off, at least via Twitter, by BioWare, the original company behind it.
But they're not even
And-
doing it, which is insane.
Right. Asper is the new company doing the remake, but BioWare was like, we're going to be watching very closely to what Asper's doing.
Well, they fucking better.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the content there. But I'm excited to see what happens. I just want to read the synopsis for those who haven't been paying attention. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is an RPG game series based on an earlier comic book series and with a subsequent new comic book series, all based on the fictional universe of Star Wars by George Lucas. How was that for a mouthful?
What a
The
mouthful.
Yeah, dude. The first and third game installments were developed by BioWare Ding. While the second was by Obsidian Entertainment per LucasArts request. All were
Yep.
published by LucasArts. Both comic stories were publicly darker. Blah blah blah. It didn't matter. I'm excited about it. I really think that if they keep to the same storyline, but we're just elevating the graphics for those
Make the
watching right
same
now.
game.
Dude, the screenshot we've got up here.
Darth Revan
Just-
looks incredible.
I know the
Make
weathering.
the same
just-
game,
it's-
but just make everything look
it's
like
so
Mass
dope.
Effect.
it's
Like
so
that's
dope.
all you have to do, and then this game
So
will go
dope.
gangbusters. Like Knights of the Old Republic is a phenomenon because it's not canon anymore, but Darth Revan is one of the most compelling villains in the Star Wars universe. Is part of the reason why, the rule of two exists and why there's only one master and one apprentice.
Mhm.
Essentially taught Darth Bane everything he knew through a
Yep.
Sith holocron. Was a Jedi, was a Sith, was a Jedi again, like floated between. It is just super compelling. And like all the source material, all the books, the Old Republic MMO brought him back. It is so cool that
I
they're
miss that
doing
MMO
this.
so much. I miss that
I
MMO
know,
so much,
so
dude.
good. It's
I
so
really,
good. The
I
story,
wish we could still play it. I mean, granted, we probably could, but I'm not gonna.
right. It's a commitment.
Awesome. So Star Wars, there's actually I think going to be a couple of other announcements pertaining to the Star Wars universe later in this episode, but we're to
Yeah.
keep things moving. Next one, Insomniac dropping two big haymakers on their announcement: Spider-Man 2 and a Wolverine game. I don't believe they announced who's actually voicing Wolverine, so I'm kind of interested to see who does
You
that.
didn't even hear his voice, so
Yeah, it was just straight
Yeah.
up like he's sitting at a bar. It's
saw the
basically sitting at
claws.
that bar from like Wolverine Origins, right? Where he's just
right.
sitting in that
He's
bar.
got the
and-
cowboy hat too. Like,
Yeah, just kind of, oh yeah, what's up, bub? But no,
Mike had
this
to
looks
wash
be
his shorts
super
after that.
dope.
He told me
Yeah,
it was like, dude,
loose buttholes are a problem. Um, Glenn doesn't just buy a lightsaber. Yeah, I know we have to like pay $1,000 now to go to Star Wars. Was it Galaxy?
Star Wars.
Galaxy's Edge. and
Yeah.
Pay like $900 to like
Oh, shit.
have
I'm
somebody
going to
hand
Florida
us a
in a couple
potential
weeks.
jewel and maybe light it up the right color.
Should I get a
We're-
lightsaber?
I
If
think
I'm
we
going to
should
Galaxy Edge?
try to get a media pass and maybe they just give it to us for free. I mean, like do a tour. Now we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, we'll see. Next up, this is actually probably like it's fine. There's two things. One, God of War Ragnarok. Look at
Hashtag
this
my
guy.
Thor.
This is my Thor. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, you're great, bud. You're great.
You are.
Marvel, you've done a great job with Thor. You know, he's a beefcake. Even in the Ultimate Universe, he was at least like a hippie beefcake. This is my Thor. This Thor, he doesn't just crush. He crushes and then parties. This is the
Dude.
Thor. For those that can't see it, he looks like a power lifter. He's got the big old belly to go with them, big old arms, a big old beard and long hair. He definitely puts in the work and then does the dancing, the partying, and shares and revels.
Yeah.
This guy gets down.
This is the dude that brings the keg to the party. And I'm here for it. And then
Yes.
makes you do a keg stand.
Yes.
He
And
reminds
then
me.
he like try to tickle him. He like drops weight on you and flips you over, and he laughs about it the entire.
He's the master of the puke and rally. He reminds me of
Yeah.
our friend Mikey.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
It
There
does.
you
He
go.
reminds me of our friend Mikey. And
Miss you,
like,
Mikey.
yeah. And I told him, I was like, dude, new Thor is you. Like, if you like had a dad bod, and you're a dad now, but like if you had a dad bod and like you were like, all right, I'm just gonna let my hair grow out, you would be the new Thor, and I would
This
be
is
here
it.
for it.
This is it. I'm even like totally not worried he's a ginger. I just, he just 5% of the population supposedly, but this guy, he
Yeah.
definitely, I enjoy it.
People are pissed
Uh,
about it.
You know who's going to be really upset? The next people that are going to listen to the next topic, because you know what it is? Yeah, we're back, baby. Activision, Blizzard King.
These two can't stay out the news.
Yeah, I'm just going to read the quick blurb that I have put together. Thank you very much. The Communications Workers of America filed unfair labor charges against gaming giant Activision Blizzard for worker intimidation on Monday, September 13th, alleging the company has tried to squash organizing efforts in a wake of ongoing discrimination and sexual assault scandal. The Wall Street Journal also reported Monday that the SEC was investigating how the company had treated complaints of sexual misconduct and workplace discrimination and had subpoenaed senior executives, including CEO Bobby Kotick. An SEC spokesperson declined comment to the Wall Street Journal.
SEC is like having the IRS come after you. That's like the one group
Uh,
you do not want coming after you.
yeah, when was the last time you saw the SEC in a very popular movie? Let's go call Jordan Belfort, and
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you,
Yeah,
he was not pleased
that's
about
how
it.
you get real jail
Um,
time.
yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good. Uh, I'm definitely man. I just I know it's going to continue to come up. This is kind of like the gaming scandal of our moment, and we're just going to
Yeah.
continue to hear about these horrible things. I know several people in leadership have quit for personal reasons or whatever. But let's be
Yeah, the
honest.
Overwatch 2 guy was the weirdest one where it was like Blizzard came out and said,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah,
he's quitting to take some personal time or he's probably a dirtbag."
yeah, we're gonna go with dirtbag on that one.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
get it, dude.
prove me.
Like
I what sucks is like again, I've said this before. In the court of like personal opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent. But at the same time, like
if it
where
looks
there's
like a
smoke, there's
duck and
fire.
acts like a duck, it's probably a douchebag.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
is.
But and here's the worst part is what we continue to always kind of argue here. Where do you separate the company from the art? We talked about Diablo 2 and Resurrected. We
Yeah.
talked about playing WoW. We're going to continue to behave the way we behave until uh, that we feel otherwise. And you at least get to see us. If we do change our opinion, it'll be based on learning new information and as adults changing our opinion. You're welcome.
There you go.
That's how it should be, folks. That's how it should be. All right. There it is. State of gaming. Now,
That was meaty, dude. 25 minutes, 35 minutes of state of gaming. That was meaty.
dude, I'm actually really proud of that considering I know most of my brain goes to like TV and movies because that's where I just live. That's where I get my good quotes from,
Yeah.
my little anecdotes that come from there. But great stuff. Speaking of TV and movies,
There's a lot of this too.
coming soon,
Yeah,
dude.
bud.
There's so much.
So much
By the
shit.
way, people at home, you're welcome. We broke a lot of this off and put it in the next segment, lightning round. But for now, we're going to at least talk about 5 topics. First one, the Batman. Matt Reeves' Batman evidently got an early screening to a test audience, and people were saying that it was closer to a horror film than like your typical comic book movie, which
And it
is
was
great,
3 hours long.
bro. I'll sit there for 3 hours, just like this
like
episode's going
like
to be
just
three
like
hours.
eyes wide. Like, yeah,
Oh,
beat the shit out of the Riddler. Do it.
I mean, it's to me that makes perfect sense. We're talking about fear, right? Batman's weapon has always been fear. Then obviously he's the world's greatest detective. I really would want to see. It's supposed to be taking place in the second year of defending Gotham, and that, as typical, he understands that some things are corrupted in Gotham.
Yeah.
Surprise, and of course we got the Riddler. So it's like it's supposed to. To me, I think this movie, if it does go down the path where it's supposed to, where we start to see the little bit more brutal side of Batman, this is something we see in the comics all the time. If you're watching one of the animated cartoon movies, sure, Batman's just like super smart and he's cool and he's got gadgets or whatever. But Batman in the comics is all these things and more. Well, number one, brutal, brutal.
He's not a
Uh,
good dude.
nah,
Through
nah,
most of his life, he
nah.
is not a good dude. Like, and
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, he's
so
teaching
here.
like 12-year-olds to beat the crap out of
Right.
people.
He's just getting orphans and is like, hey, you going to be my Robin. Oh,
Yeah,
man, you grow up. It's like,
bam.
you grew up. You can't be Robin anymore. I'll get another one. Oh, man, you died. We'll get
Yeah.
another one. It's just. And we'll talk
Yes,
about that later on the
just a
show, too.
revolving door. Just a revolving door. But no, excited to see what happens here. The next one, and speaking of brutal things, Halloween Kills had a
This
final
looks so
trailer
much
drop.
fun.
Dude, first of all, anything that's got the last name Hawkins in it, I'm always going to enjoy. Unfortunately, the minute it's got the last name Hawkins, like Will Patton playing Deputy Frank Hawkins, I become personally like bound to that character, and
Right.
anything that happens to that person
He ain't going to make
happens
it.
to me in my heart. Guess what? He ain't gonna make it. He
He
ain't
ain't
gonna
gonna
make it.
make it, buddy. You put
He ain't gonna make
Deputy
it.
in a
Mm-mm,
Halloween movie, he
mm-mm.
ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the permission level to continue to live through the end of
Nope.
this movie. But no, this one actually follows up the last film, where after Laurie Strode, aka Jamie Lee Curtis, and her daughter Karen, Judy Greer, who did a great job, and then
Love Judy
granddaughter
Greer.
Allison, Andy Matichak, whatever. You know
Half
who
of
you
you
are.
fucking up. Where's the
No,
pronunciation?
it's probably like Matichak. It's Andy is her first name. Grow up, Peter Pan. Uh, But once leave Michael Myers caged in the basement of Laurie's burning house. That was epic, by the way.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed that movie because they finally like caught him. It was like, oh my god. Michael manages to break himself free. Surprise, surprise. Evil always finds a way, just like life does. Jeff Goldblum. But the Strode women, they join a group of other survivors to decide to form a mob to hunt Michael. The trailer for this, my favorite thing about the trailer was the fact that he was murdering people with things other than like a knife that was designed to fillet a tuna. You know what I mean? Like, I think there was one movie where like the knife was about like the size of a sword, and
Yeah.
then
Who
this
fucking
one
has
he's
that in
like,
their house?
yeah, this one he's ripping like the tool to break down doors from firefighters' hands and then just shoving it through them. Fantastic,
I'm so
fantastic.
in. This looks so fucking cool. And
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be good.
Jamie Lee Curtis is like, it ends tonight. We're gonna go kill him. And like the whole town comes together
Ah,
and they're like, we're gonna hunt this fucking guy. And like, you're no match for him. You've tried to kill him for 11 fucking movies now. It's not gonna happen. He's gonna come back.
dude, if there's two people that like at this current moment in time that my brain constantly like goes, my parents share an aesthetic with. One of them is Jamie Lee Curtis with my mom. That white hair, my mom looks like a. She looks like
That's
it's
awesome.
basically the same thing. Not as like I'm gonna bury you in the basement, but that's where it hits for me. But for my dad, it's always been Michael Keaton. They've got the same kind of attack style eyebrows. They're about the same height, etc. But Jamie Lee Curtis being on here, and then the very next topic having Michael Keaton in it just works in spades for me.
Dude, you're fucking setting him up. Set him up
Yeah,
and
no,
knock him
dude.
down, bud.
I know, dude. That's a little anecdote.
It's
It's a
like
little
we
bit of
never
truth.
left for 3 weeks.
I mean, so on the screen right now are four different chest plates. I did a little blog on joystickmaverick.com. Check it out. But I'll quickly kind of summarize what's happened so far. The director of the movie coming up for The Flash, Andy Muschietti.
Muschetti.
Muschietti. Uh,
Muschetti.
Muschetti, like spaghetti. Okay, but no. So the director, Andy Muschietti, he has been releasing little like I'm calling them breadcrumbs, a little bit of like a little bit
Yeah.
of treats. You want something? You want a little treat? Here you go. The first one, the classic Tim Burton Batman emblem on a chest plate. Super great. A little bit of blood on it. All right, cool. You're thinking this is going to be dope. Next one, here's the Flash. It looks more like the latest version of the Power Rangers movie. It was a little bit more organic, a little bit more like seersuckered under their skin. It wasn't woven from leather or fabric. Then we get the Supergirl chest plate. And then finally, this fourth one that was dropped, I think on Sunday, is basically what looks to me, and I'm comparing the first and second photo here, the original like cowl shape from the original Batman. The outside's a little bit thicker on the
Uh-huh.
emblem. It's a little bit shorter. The actual like ribbing along the collarbone is a little bit thinner. So it makes me wonder if this was just kind of like sitting up in the closet and Barry was like, I need something because I'm not in my universe that has my super dope suit. And the Batman's like, hey, my rubberized Kevlar plated bat suit should do the job. And then you get graphic
Hmm.
designer slash goober Barry Allen with a can of spray paint to to throw on the red and yellow, which would make total sense for somebody with ADD and super speed. So, but no, I'm actually really excited about it. I think this is definitely a good way of kind of like introducing characters at the same time without giving away anything about the film. You're not getting a trailer or a teaser or whatever, but you're getting a little something something, and it's growing his brand awareness and his presence. Um, the director himself is actually pretty well known if you're into like things like it chapter 1 and 2. So I think we're going to get a definitely different version of a comic book movie from that mind. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
It's time to show something from this movie, though. It,
Yeah,
DC
yeah.
has fandom coming up in October, which dude, if you watched fandom last
For
year,
for
it was
reasons, right?
it was better than E3.
True.
But
The fandom, right? The fandom.
yeah, the fandom was so good. I hope we see something regarding this. Like, I just want to hear the fucking Tim Burton bat thing and just see Michael Keaton like this, like
Yes,
with the bat signal behind him.
bro,
Yeah, you
bro.
kidding me? I'll go broke.
So good,
I'll see this movie in the theater every day.
so good. I'm so stoked about it. Other news that was not in our show notes here. I believe that they have announced HBO Max is trying to develop a show
Supergirl
for
show,
for
yeah,
Supergirl with
yeah.
Michael Keaton in it, which totally debunks my theory that the blood on the Batman emblem is going to be close to that of the blood that was on the comedian's pin from the Watchmen. So evidently, Batman ain't getting yoked
Jeffrey Dean
in this one.
Morgan also in this
Yeah.
movie as Thomas Wayne. So
Interesting.
could be.
Interesting. I'm excited about it. Maybe that red means other things.
And in other news, Tiger King's coming back, but no one cares. So let's move on.
Tiger King Part 2. I'm so excited. It's coming. It's actually coming this year, right? It's like
Yeah,
they just kind of were
yeah.
like Netflix is like, you know what? We love that taste a little bit of money. Here you go.
Yeah. Someone's
Here
doing
you go, little
blow in the
birdie.
bathroom at Netflix and be like, you know what people want? They
You
want
know
more
what?
Carol Baskin.
What Tiger King do? Yep, that's exactly what's
That bitch
happening.
killed her husband.
Whacked him. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Disney drops a whole bunch of news.
It's like DC
This is
fandom, but for Disney.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we talked about a little bit of Star Wars stuff here. The funny thing is, like, the first one on this, or the second one on this list is, I think, already been released. So I don't know why it's still there
It's
again.
maybe
Like,
it's coming to Disney Plus, but without the premiere access.
it would make sense. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we'll start from the top. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'll actually be able to finally watch this movie. I've heard such great things is going to come up later on. Jungle Cruise. I did watch it. I did pay for it. You know why? Because it's got The Rock. And
Yeah, it was good. It was like Pirates of the Caribbean meets
yes.
The Mummy. It was good.
Yes.
I liked it.
I definitely enjoyed it. I was eating a little bit of gnocchi with some chicken. It was a wonderful night. The next one, Home Alone, or so Home Sweet Home Alone. Is this?
Okay. Is
I
Macaulay
haven't
Culkin
seen
in
anything
it?
about this. Yeah, that's my curiosity. Is Macaulay Culkin in it, or is it that weird kid from the third one? Like, is he an
How
adult
funny would
now?
it be if it was Macaulay Culkin and then like he's home alone, but he's an adult, so he's allowed to be home alone?
That would be sweet.
I
Home
don't know.
Sweet Home Alone.
Home Sweet. Home Alone.
Series and short films. We've got the Olaf Presents series with obviously starting Olaf from Frozen. We got Hi Alberto, a short film aimed at those who saw the movie Luca. So far, so
Luca
good.
was good.
I enjoyed it. If
I
I'm
did
being
too.
honest.
It's
I
very
really
cute.
enjoyed it. Yeah. The Simpsons, new short film based on the beloved Springfield family. No kidding, The Simpsons. I'm pretty sure if you have the word Simpson, there's only two Simpsons that come to mind: OJ and The Simpsons.
The juice, baby.
The juice. The world according to Jeff Goldblum. I actually really enjoyed the first season. Supposedly he was around in the city I live in like 2 years ago, pre-pandemic. So I'm hoping that we pop up in the second season here. Dope sick.
I'm all for Jeff Goldblum just being Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, wow, but hey, guess what? I like to eat hot wings and I play in a jazz band. And I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking let's go. He's like, I want to buy hype sneakers. And I'm like, yeah, me too, Jeff.
That's right. That's right. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm in.
Dope Sick, a new original Star series starring Michael Keaton. That I didn't even read that part. That's kind of
Didn't know that. Michael Keaton, anything I watch.
I mean, and there we go. And then finally, the last two are from the Star Wars and Marvel universes. The Book of Boba Fett will have a small preview, and then of course they're still premiering in 2021, December of this year. And then for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a small preview of what is to come in general. The other one being the other films being like Hawkeye, the series, Ms. Marvel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Look, have we had an episode since the Hawkeye trailer came out?
No, but we've definitely put it on social, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I got real boned up about it. Like I definitely
it's
enjoyed.
like Die Hard meets My Life as a Weapon by Matt Fraction. I'm fucking in, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that it's following, first off, the fact that it's actually kind of pointing out that Hawkeye is deaf now, to
Yeah.
me, only perfectly sets up a moment where Deadpool and him are in the same room together, and Deadpool's got his mask up because he's the only person who's conscious of the fact that he's deaf and is polite enough to show his mouth so we can hear what he's saying. So I'm kind of like, I'm leaning really heavily into it. Plus,
I
Christmas
can't
gets me
wait.
going.
Yeah, and Christmas, yeah, it's so cool. And like the Russians in tracksuits are there from the Matt Fraction novel, and if they call him Hawk a
Yes.
guy, I'm gonna fucking squeal like a little girl. Kate Bishop looks incredible.
The golden retriever, I love those too.
Yeah, Lucky the pizza dog. Yeah, dude,
Hmm.
I'm in. It looks
It's
so good.
it's hitting all the right
Listen,
levels for me,
yeah.
man. I
And
mean,
everybody shits on Jeremy Renner and Hawkeye, and I'm like, dude, Hawkeye's a fucking sweet. Read Matt Fraction's book.
yeah,
Stop being a pain in the ass.
people who did shit on Jeremy Renner just didn't like his song. That's all. Whatever.
His song was pretty terrible, but
It was bad. It was bad. It was like,
he also says some fucked up things about, I think, Scarlett Johansson. But all right, let's move on.
yeah. You want to? Sorry, Jeremy. We can't really help you out there, bud. Oh. All right. So next up, guess what? Drop today. Another little baby secret here. The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is when people like try to say the secret is he likes dudes. That's not
been
the
a secret. J.K.
Guess
Rowling
what?
said he was gay for a long time ago.
Yeah. If you've read the books and you've been a fan at all, you would know.
And if Jude Law was in front of me, he could be my secret too.
Oh, Jude Law, my dirty little secret. No, this is actually going to be pretty great. David Yates coming back to direct yet another Harry Potter film. The plot synopsis, I hadn't even known there was a release of the plot synopsis.
I didn't know that either.
The other thing I didn't know was the official announcement that Mads Mikkelsen, from who, if you've watched, what was it? Was that show?
Casino Royale and Hannibal and
yeah, Hannibal. He was in the Casino Royale, like fantastic actor. Obviously, he was the dad in Rogue One. So Disney definitely got an affection for him already.
Dude,
he probably should have been Grindelwald from the start.
Before any of this happened with Johnny Depp, before he was casted as Grindelwald, I have said Mads Mikkelsen would be the perfect Grindelwald at an older age. He's Danish. I think Grindelwald is in that Scandinavian style thing.
Yeah.
He went to the school. I can't remember the name of the damn wizard school that's up in that area. But like I was like, all right, cool. It should be Mads Mikkelsen. And then, the way that Johnny Depp was handled, that's really fucked up. He's the victim in the whole thing. Warner Brothers fucked up there. They should have fired Amber Heard off of Aquaman 2. However, I am very excited that Mads Mikkelsen is playing Grindelwald.
I'm so stoked.
Oh yeah, Mads was in Doctor Strange. Mike just said, yeah, he was.
That's right.
Yeah, he was bad guy in Doctor Strange. Thanks, Mike.
No, definitely. So you're right. Yeah, actually, so the Triple Down, they love this guy. Like, they're like, oh yeah, he's wonderful. He, to me, like, he really kind of embodies that, like, oh, you could like him, but at the same time, you're like, fuck that guy. Like, he's definitely toes the line. It's why he was so great as Hannibal.
I watch that show at least once a year in its entirety because awesome. He is so damn good.
He's killing it. For the synopsis, several years after the events of the crimes of Grindelwald, the story takes place partly in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and partly in Berlin, Germany, and leads up to the Wizarding World's involvement in World War II. Interesting. With Grindelwald's power rapidly growing, Albus Dumbledore entrusts Newt Scamander and his friends on a mission that will lead to a clash with Grindelwald's army and will lead Dumbledore to pondering how long he will stay on the sidelines in the approaching war. My question is, how do you think they're going to handle the Johnny Depp transition? Do you think it's just going to be like CGI Johnny Depp's face and suddenly he waves a wand over his face and then he's Mads? Like that?
I don't think they're going to handle it any which way. It's just Grindelwald.
It's just going to be like Mads. Dang, it's just going to be straight up Vinny Chase, and then Jake Gyllenhaal is now Aquaman. We're just going to switch them up. Dang.
Yeah,
I feel like, man, I don't know.
They already did it with Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
I mean, that was always the plan, though. But they already did it with
yeah,
Colin Farrell.
that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
I still think
So,
Colin Farrell would have been a better Grindelwald than Johnny Depp, but that's cool. He
I
was so
mean,
good in that movie too, man. Like Johnny Depp
listen,
was not good in the second Fantastic Beasts movie. I did not care for his
yeah.
Grindelwald.
Again,
You,
like, I think at a certain point you gotta like transition from like I'm a sex star to like I'm not,
yeah,
and I don't
he's
know
old.
when that's gonna happen for him.
Like Mike, he's old.
Yeah.
Be old.
Damn, just ricochet shots. Is that the theme
He's taking
today?
shots.
I know it's
Mike's taking shots today. It's his birthday on Saturday.
there.
Be
You
all right.
go. Drink it up.
Happy
Drink it up.
birthday, Mike. Get
Next
your
up,
AARP card.
lightning round. Everybody's favorite round because it's so quick.
Yeah.
Let me put on my best 1920s reporter voice. Hello. This week on the lightning round, we've got Erin Wayne joins Riot Games as the first ever female head of player. Ryan Crosby promoted to president of publishing at Riot Games. Mark Sottosanti named chief financial officer of Riot Games. Nintendo is back on their bullshit after they shut down yet another Smash Bros. Tournament. Top Gun Maverick delayed till 2022. Who cares?
Tom Cruise is going to be dead when that comes out.
Ghostbusters Afterlife pushed back yet another week. And then Trained just to Busan gets a US remake. Why? People can't read subtitles. That's crazy. And then finally, John Cho tore his ACL while on the set of Cowboy Bebop. We got to protect this man at all costs. Why is there not bubble wrap on the floor? Lightning round, done.
I'm really upset about the Train to Busan remake. Why do we need it? They did the same shit with Wreck
Yeah,
in Quarantine
exactly.
with
Exactly.
Jennifer Carpenter. We don't need it.
It's the other one I heard about recently. Again, here we go. Here's a little shtick. Getting a remake, Train to Busan. Here's another one. The series Ghosts and BBC is getting a US remake.
Okay, hold on. This
Honorable
is super
mention.
weird.
I don't have a slide for this.
This shit keeps coming up. Okay, I've never heard of that fucking show ever. Never heard of Ghosts.
It's great.
My sister came in and she's like, "Hey, you should watch this show, Ghosts. It's awesome. It's like really cool." And I'm like, "Okay, this sounds great. This sounds like Spaced or all that shit. It sounds like an Edgar Wright thing. Like, I'm in. I'm down to watch." And I'm watching the fucking Emmys, and then they're like, "Ghosts, a ABC show," and I'm like, "Wait, that's a British show. What do you mean? What is going on?" This show keeps coming up. I gotta watch it. Apparently, it's really good.
I got my only comparison is going to be this IT Crowd, great show.
Love the American version was really bad.
The pilot was so terrible. I mean, we appreciate Joel McHale for all of his work in Community, etc. But he was not the person that we should replace Roy with.
No.
And then this is kind of similar to that. Like if you watch the show Ghost and there's one character who's a caveman and you compare the caveman to the US version, they're going to be very different. And immediately I'm like, okay, we just tried to put like the Star Trek effect with like the new series of Star Trek with Chris Pine and Zoe Saldana, like the pretty people, you know, it's just not going to work, man. It's not going to work. There's a humor factor. People need to look kind of what you think they should look like. We don't have to be a polished version. That's why so many actors, because of the way they look, are distinct. Mads Mikkelsen being among them, Mahaffey being among them. Like they don't have to be this pristine, wonderfully bubble wrap person. They can just be a beautiful old Oliver Queen version of themselves.
Right, an old white guy. We get it. Like it's fine. You're allowed to be old and white, Mike. Don't be upset about it.
That's right.
Yes, the shows I've heard is kind of like Spaced. So
watch it. Definitely, it's gonna be fun. There's a show like
Mike's gonna kill me, dude. I keep calling him old. He's gonna be like, "You motherfucker."
I can't wait for him to defend himself next week. Just like in the middle of everything, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Just whispering into the microphone.
Right.
But moving right along, next segment, new releases. New releases this week is kind of funny. Like I've only seen one of these new releases, Candyman in theaters. Candyman is actually a sequel to the first one, which makes total sense based on the trailers. But I don't know why my brain was like, are they going to try to reboot and redo this? I think it's just because of all the stuff we constantly talk about. Nice. Sorry, Mike. Whatever on chat is very upset. He's so upset he's speechless. All we're getting is ellipses from him. But this is a sequel to the original from 1992 that returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. I can't wait to watch it. I definitely enjoy the original Candyman. I was scared in 1992 because I was like 8. Uh, so once I'm actually able to watch this legally,
It was
legally,
super scary, dude.
you saw this?
No, not this, but the original Candyman scared the shit out of me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like went to the theater, but
No, I didn't see this in the theater. I saw Shang-Chi in the theater.
which is coming right up next. But no, I'm definitely excited about seeing this. But yeah, Candyman was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, dude.
I
Was it
love that movie. Mhm.
John Washington? John something? The guy who played Candyman is fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, that
I want to
voice.
say
You got
John
that
David
voice.
Washington, but that's the guy from Tenet. But
Yeah, that's very different. That's Denzel's kid. A little
yeah,
bit different. Slight age gap. Um, but moving right along, Shang-Chi came out while I was out. Um, I am not physically allowed in the movie theater. I want to keep my marriage. I want to keep my baby safe.
I'm with you.
I like sleeping in the bed, not on the couch. I wanted to see this so flippin' bad. I was
You
like,
missed
can
out.
we make like a mask of saran wrap, just cut a hole like the gimp? Can I just get one of those masks, zipper around the mouth, and just unzip it so I could breathe, eye holes, and then go to the theater? Like, what do we got to do to work this out? Because I heard, as we talked about it previously, that it was just such a great film, not just a great Marvel film.
Shang-Chi is my favorite Marvel movie, hands down.
Really,
Yeah, it's
really.
Shang-Chi then Black Panther, and
Damn.
so I saw Shang-Chi in the theaters. So I'm with you. Like, I understand you have a newborn at home. You want to keep that baby safe. COVID is still around. Ashley, my wife, I just name dropped her, but it's fine.
You
Ash
totally doxed her, bro.
works in the service industry. So she's, out on the front lines, been out in the service industry, never took a day off during COVID. We're
Wow.
both vaccinated. We both wear masks in public. We both bring hand sanitizers. We're both doing all of that. And one of the things that we used to love before COVID was going to the movies. I mean, we both had AMC All Access. So we would go to the movies weekly. We saw literally every movie that came out the year that they came out. The year that AMC Pass A List came out. Um, and we were just like, look, it sucks. Everything is still kind of fucking fucked up. The magic of the movies is not what it was.
Yeah.
Everybody's still wearing masks. They're not. You're not getting that Avengers Endgame opening night style feel where people are cheering in the theater and all that. But we were like, it's important to us to see this in the theaters, and we'll do the same for Dune. We'll do the same for Eternals. We'll do the same for Spider-Man: No Way Home. We probably won't do it for the Matrix, even though I really want to see the Matrix in theaters. But that's coming to HBO Max, and my family is a huge Matrix fan. So, but this movie was out of this world. Um, it had all the makings of being a old school Chinese film, old, Chinese theater, kung fu, high flying, a story about a kid and his father and his family and all of that. And Simu Liu is incredible. Tony Leung is a mainstay in Chinese film. He
Mm.
did films with Chow Yun Fat and Andy Lau, and did the movie that was I can't remember the name of the movie now, but the movie that the Departed was based off of a Chinese film.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I can't remember the name now,
I can't
which
remember.
sucks. But he
Yeah.
was
The
in
only
that.
difference between that and Departed was Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah. And Tony Leung was in he's been in he was in Hero, which is my favorite Chinese film with Jet Li, Donnie Yen, Maggie Chung, and Z- Ziyi Zhang, Zhang Ji, from Rush Hour 2. But it was beautiful. The fight choreography is incredible. The environments were amazing. The acting is superb. Aquafina is hilarious in the movie. Simu Liu is a beautiful addition to the Marvel cast. And the callbacks to Marvel films and the fact that they tie this into the Marvel Cinematic Universe just makes it that much better.
So that's kind of, I mean, obviously no spoilers and that kind of stuff, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
my curiosity was how Shang-Chi was going to fit into this new world, this universe after the blip, right? Like, obviously, Shang-Chi as a character in his own right can carry his own weight. We could just have an entire universe with just him as a character. But I
Yeah.
wanted to see, I can't wait to see how they introduce Shang-Chi to like the world of the Avengers. Like,
Right. And they do a really good job of not beating your ass in the face with it, but
nice.
doing it. So, I mean, I would love for us to talk about this movie a lot more when you get to see it in November.
I was gonna say it's coming in
Yeah,
November.
November 12th. It's coming to
I
Disney
can't
Plus.
wait.
Everybody needs to see this movie. It is really good. For someone who's a minority, um, representation matters, and Asian
Fuck
representation
right.
in this movie was exceptional. The same way that African representation was exceptional in Black Panther. You know, let's
Yeah.
get it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Can we get a Miles Morales movie maybe? Like that would be sweet if he's in No Way Home. But like,
Um,
I mean, Michael be like, "We got you. You got Blue Beetle," and I'm like, "Well, fuck Blue Beetle. He's
that's DC though, it's not.
yeah." I mean, but no, this is really cool. I really really
Fuck Blue
enjoy this
Beetle. That's
movie.
hilarious.
Yeah, fuck Blue Beetle. Nah, he's
No,
fine, but
my biggest thing, but besides the obvious, right? Like, I want to see this, and I'm a little bit hurt that once again the state of the world, as
yeah,
is now the common vernacular, has kept me from continuing my over 10-year tradition now of seeing these Marvel films in the theater, right? Like, it's something that's become almost ingrained in me to like do. I don't like, I love my wife to death, but she falls asleep whenever we go to a movie, and that's totally fine. I'll pay triple the cost to watch her sleeping in that chair and watch that baby sleep in that chair if I get to do it. However, it's a little. I guess I definitely have FOMO. I'm missing out on it.
I know, and a lot of people feel that way. I know a lot of people that have not been able to see this movie, were not able to see Black Widow, that are not going to be able to see Eternals when it comes out. And we're at like,
Mhm.
it could not, this whole fucking COVID bullshit for movies could not come at a worse time,
Right.
because we're just off the heels of Endgame. We're ushering in the
True.
new class of the Marvel universe, with everything that happened in Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. And like, we're starting to finally get these big movies back, and like, people can't go
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
know people can't fucking get vaccinated or wear a mask. It's
State of the world.
yeah, dude.
I think, but my now I have to like take a step back though and like start to focus on something that's not what I'm missing out on. So like
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I'm sitting here going like, okay, we had the dust up, or excuse me, the continued dust up between Scarlett Johansson and the Big Mouse, right?
Hmm.
The House of Mouse. So now it's like, okay, they released it on the same day, and there was a problem there. Okay, now we've got Shang-Chi, and they didn't release it on the same day. And if we're going to go one to one, I'm going to look at the day that it did come out in theaters versus the day it's going to come out on Disney Plus. Okay, even if it's premiere access at that point, whatever the math is, we'll say 90 days. Okay, is that a standard 90 days? But I promise there's definitely not going to be a standard any kind of day for release of movies like this. Like the Eternals, when it comes
No.
out, they're not going to do any kind of tell you, hey, it's coming out in 90 days, because the algorithm will tell you otherwise. And when I say about
Oh yeah.
algorithm, if they're starting to see a peak of it in theaters, then they can start do some forecasting and then start saying, okay, by the time of this date, it's no longer going to be reasonable to be in theaters, even at the dollar theater up the street from us or whatever. It's going to be now time for Disney Plus. So I'm starting to kind of play this little game of, okay, how great was that movie, whether it was Disney or Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, based on how fast it comes out to Disney Plus, right? Like the House of Mouse is going to make that dollar, especially with their new
Yeah.
CEO. Like he is, I mean, he's definitely. I think. I think we talked about it earlier, Dom. TikTok algorithms. I'm not going to call anybody out. My TikTok algorithm all of a sudden starts showing me a bunch of Disney content, Disney park stuff, or whatever.
Yeah,
But I'm getting a lot of hate vibes for this new CEO and price changes, etc.
yeah,
But that's just the world we live in now, where it's not just hey, we can release something on a regular schedule. Now it's got to be we're going to use data science. We're going to use machine learning to really start focusing on what's the exact date that we can get the best bang for the buck and then get out the door. So we'll start to see where that comes in play.
and hats off to Simu Liu, who's really taken a lot of this bullshit in stride when it comes to people saying, "Oh, Shang-Chi is the experiment."
Yeah.
If whether a movie, he's like, "Nah, man, we ain't the experiment. Like, that's not what we
No.
are." Like, and I'm
No.
like, dude, yeah, I'm here for it. He's fantastic. I'm a big fan of him.
Dude, him his social presence, especially on Twitter. We
Yeah,
Joystick Maverick follows him on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. Class act. Him like getting called out for his stock photos a couple of years ago. He's
so
like,
good.
you yeah, he's like, your boy ain't in stock photos no more. Like it's to me like that's definitely the dream. Is like
The best one was like it
having
was like the picture of him looking at the picture at the computer, and he's like,
yeah.
this is me looking at the Rotten Tomato scores for Shang-Chi."
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Yeah,
but it's I love it whenever I see anybody that like wears something that could be perceived as a weakness as like a plate of armor,
yeah.
and I co-sign for that shit all day
I
long.
can't wait for him to be on Hot Ones, dude. You know he's gonna be on Hot Ones at some point. Like, I
You know
can't
he's
wait
gonna.
for that.
My favorite thing about my favorite and worst thing about Hot Ones is this: one, the worst thing, when people clearly dope up, and what I mean by dope up, they do like a
Yeah,
Lawson's that that kind of numbs their mouth out or whatever,
yeah,
whatever that was, it Sucrets that has like the menthol that's a numbing,
yeah.
and then they're like, oh, that's just great, it's got a flavor. Like, no, they don't know. They read the ingredients, and then you get people like that really go in and they're crying from their nose or leaking from every orifice. Those people I appreciate and adore, and I feel like Simu is going to do just that. He's
Yeah.
going to keep doing
Mike said Bob Chapek, actually the CEO, was the one that said Shang-Chi was an experiment. So fuck that guy.
it. Yeah,
Shang-Chi
fuck the
wasn't
guy.
the experiment.
Fuck that guy.
Uh
Hey,
I love
remember
seeing,
how it's
yeah.
like we're going to try to get a media pass for lightsabers? Guess what?
No,
We're not
it's not
getting
gonna
any
happen. Fuck
now.
that, dude.
Fuck
I'll
them.
pay full
Fuck 'em.
price. I don't
That's
need
right.
your handout. Nah,
Yeah,
man.
we're
I'm
going to
a,
live stream the whole
I'll
time.
I'll go back to it, dude. Representation in media matters for marginalized groups and for minorities. And we're starting to see that now. And I'm
Mhm.
super excited and I'm here for it. Again,
Fuck right.
give me a Latin Green Lantern movie with Kyle Rayner and Jessica Cruz.
Let's go. Speaking of Latin, Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows has been revealed last season. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, too bad. Last season was revealed to be a ancestor of the vampire killer Van Helsing.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah. So, which has been awesome because he's, like he's as fluffy as a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But I love this show for an uncountable amount of reasons. Number one being my guy from IT Crowd,
Matt Berry's incredible.
Laszlo. Yeah. And then you got this towards the right hand side here, we've got the Colin Robinson character who's an energy vampire. And if you work in an office environment at all, you've got one of these with you.
Yeah, most
But
certainly.
this season is definitely picked on for the last one left. If you're watching it on FX or anywhere that allows you to hear curse words because you're above 18 or whatever, it's worth it. The language is colorful, but so is the
Matt
content.
Berry's
These
pretty
guys,
colorful, so
yeah. I mean, I think last season was the season where he had an encounter with his past self before he became a vampire, his old soul, and he had to jerk him off and then have ectoplasm all over the room to allow his soul to go to the other side. So if that's the level of content and the adult humor you don't like, don't watch this show. But if
yeah,
you're
don't
okay
watch
with
that.
that, enjoy.
Hell
Fantastic
yeah.
stuff. The funniest thing, this is off topic but random. My Michael Keaton of a father was telling me about how he was reading a speech and that he wrote and was really like thinking about it because it was unfortunately for a funeral, but he was doing it over and over, and he kept kind of like weeping a little bit because it was very sentimental. It's a funeral. That's what happens. But every time he would read it in the voice of Laszlo, he would read it like this. He was a great person. He totally loved me. Like that kind of thing. He was like, I could get through it. He's like, so hopefully in the middle of my speech, I don't do that. And luckily, they didn't ask him to do a speech at all. So that would have been hilarious because he's like, and I'm not going to be able to look at you because I know you can do the voice. And the minute I look at you, I'm just going to start giggling and it's going to be highly inappropriate. But I digress. Episode 4 came out last week. I think episode 5, that's how numbers work, comes out tomorrow, or actually this evening, right now. Once again, September 23rd, new shit. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I haven't seen anything of? Another show that new season came out today.
I
Doom
haven't seen
Patrol.
it. Yeah, I know. Doom Patrol's so good.
First season, Alan Tudyk, win. Second season, batshit crazy shit, talking about social issues. We're talking about, hey, by the way, not only am I still alive, but I'm also gay for the Invisible Man, aka the name is Invisible Man. The guy, what's his name? The Spectre. He's got that being from outer space inside of him, aka Matt Balmer's character. Uh, Brendan Fraser playing the robot kills me every single time. The chick from Orange is the New Black. We've got a bond in this show. If you're not
Yeah,
watching
Timothy
Doom
Dalton's
Patrol,
still acting.
yeah. If you're not watching Doom Patrol, do yourself a favor and watch it.
It's
It's
really
definitely
good.
worth the time. You have to get past, I think, the little bit of campiness to it, and then you have to embrace it. If you
It's the
liked
same thing
Buffy,
with
if you liked
every single one of
Angel,
these DC shows.
you gotta
Just
you gotta
embrace the
hold
campiness.
on to its haunches and ride that bucking bronco until you start to enjoy it. But I haven't seen the new season. I can't wait. I'm gonna start purging or binging the minute I can. So,
Yeah.
and then finally, end of new releases. Something I haven't even watched the first episode of, but I hear great things
It's
from
fucking
our
cool,
producer
dude.
Mahaffey. Dude,
It's so
ev-
cool.
like
I
I
watched the
wish I had
first
taken the
3.
day off, but oh really? How are they?
Yeah,
All right, yes. All right.
yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and fake pontificate on this one.
No,
I need
dude.
you to tell me.
I watched The Duel, which is the first one, which the studio behind it did some of the opening for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was this very cool Akira
Nice.
Toriyama style samurai, fucking so cool, very well animated, very really cool. Like the 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 guy pulls out a lightsaber from his scabbard like a katana, and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally in. And then the second episode had Chibi Boba Fett, which was really cool too. It was about like a Jedi that survived Order 66 and started a rock band, and like it was so yeah,
What?
it was fucking cool. But the third episode, which was done by Trigger, which is the animation studio behind Kill la Kill, did the twins, and that was the peak for me. It's this beautifully animated story about about a set of twins that were born of the dark side, and like it's so cool, and it's so over the top, and it's like there's a star destroyer in there that's powered by a kyber crystal, and like is like a super cannon. It's like two star destroyers that are connected with a hyper cannon in the middle of it, and it's like this over the top anime style. It's so cool. I can't wait to watch the remaining 6 episodes. Mike said that the Ninth Jedi is also a really good one.
So
But
they released all episodes at
all
once. It
9,
wasn't
yeah,
like
all 9
a
today.
1, 2, 3, one
Yesterday,
weekly.
yeah, all
That's
9.
interesting. That's interesting
They're about
considering.
15 minutes a pop. So each one is
Okay,
about
so
15 minutes a
they're
pop.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah, sit down, watch a few of them at a time. It's really cool. It is very much the Animatrix, but for Star Wars, and that's exactly
That's what's
what
up.
I was looking for.
That's what's up. No, that's awesome. I love the animations when that came out. That was such a great like tie-in between
Yeah,
the original and obviously the second two films. So I mean looking forward to it. And this is the hardest part for me. And I think because it's not like one continuous story, right? The Animatrix was kind of one-offs. so is this. It sounds like it's not about one continuous theme. I'm not going to want to binge it. I'll be able to
Yeah,
like have that separation because there's different characters. I'm not going to hear the next part of a saga or a story arc, which makes
right.
most of us binge. So hopefully,
It's cool.
probably
It's
just me.
very
We'll
cool
have
to do it
some
in
self
doses.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably
yeah,
do it like 3 at a time where I watch the first 3 today. I watch the second 3 tomorrow, and then I watch the third 3 on Saturday. It's
that's
really
what's
cool.
up.
You
I
should
like
watch it.
that.
Yeah.
I
The
might have
fucking the
to.
twins, dude. Kill la Kill's a great anime. Sean Flanagan, Hannigan, Sean, the guy I can't remember his last name. Sorry,
Hey, Sean.
Sean.
Hey,
Heyo,
Sean.
Sean. Heyo, Sean. Big anime fan. Talked to me, talked about
Soy
Kill la
Anakin.
Kill, and I watched Kill la Kill in one sitting, and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. And now I can't wait for the Star Wars Vision episode with them. So it's
Worth
so
it.
good,
Worth it. Awesome. Guess what? Best new releases.
bro. We're kind of cooking, dude. We're like an hour and 15 in.
Yeah, this is actually really not bad for us, especially considering the volume of
Yeah,
things we've been
we
talking
are
about.
cooking, bud.
I feel like we're probably going to lose viewership unless they watch this show for the next segment. But before that, let me talk about something very important. ToughWraps.com. Go use code joystick to get 10% off your purchase. That's right. Whatever you want. ToughWraps.com. At checkout, use code joystick. That's it. Super simple, super easy. Apparel, gear,
Just do it.
supplements. Just do it.
Just
Stay
do it.
tough.
Yeah.
Toughwraps.com. Thank you.
Be the best
Thank you.
version of
Thank you. Thank
yourself.
you. Yeah. I'm trying every day. Guess what? Not doing great. I'm getting there though. I'm getting
You
there
look
though.
great.
But speaking of best version, you know what's gonna happen next week? I'm gonna have a colonoscopy. It's gonna be horrific. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm already a little bit down from my visits to the hospital. Now I'm gonna lose another set of pounds. Can't wait. If you ever have a colonoscopy, which you probably should, by the way, I don't it's not a PSA. Always get checked at 45 or older. Talk to your doctor about a colonoscopy.
Today.
But
This
don't.
episode of Joystick Maverick brought to you by procedures that Mike Mahaffey's probably looking at because he's old as
Oh,
hell.
no. Well, if he's in his 90s, he's probably his 90th colonoscopy.
Mike, get a colonoscopy. Colonoscopy. You're
We're worried
45
about
now.
you, buddy. Make sure. Be safe. Next, final round. Here
We're
we
gonna
go.
spoil the shit out of this, by the way. So
Yeah.
like
So
if you don't want to like if you don't want to hear about anything regarding DC's Titans, we are going to spoil
let's
the
go
shit out
ahead.
of this.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you might
just,
as
just
well
follow us on
keep the
social, like
stream
and
up,
subscribe. Yeah, I mean,
but
just
mute
mute
us.
us. Just mute us. DC's Titans season 3 started obviously based on the poster here, August 12th, and here we are today. Came out with episode 9. Episode 9 kind of reaffirms everything I've been saying about this every time we bring it up. The poster for
Why is
season
Donna
3 for
Troy in the
Titans,
poster?
yeah, has spoiled it again. Like, god dang, man. Just god dang. Like, why would you throw her in there if you're trying to keep any kind of form of secrecy? I get it. We just, it's so stupid. But so far this season, I've enjoyed several things, and I kind of want to like throw them at you, Dom. You throw them back
Yeah,
at me.
let's
The
do it.
first number one thing, we kicked things off really hard. We already talked about this in the previous episode. We kicked things off with Jason Todd dying at the hands of the Joker, and to me that was great. It was a pretty good live action version of what happened in the comics, as far as like it's at the carnival. It wasn't as in depth, and I'm glad we didn't spend too much time on it, because most people who are kind of familiar with Jason Todd, Red Hood, Batman in general, we've already had this. Probably the demographic for the show, right? We're already aware of it. I like that it was very quickly resolved and very quickly turned into the Red Hood is alive, and then it just became a mystery of how that happened. The thing I didn't like. Go, sorry.
No. I want to hear what you didn't like, because I wonder if it's very similar to what I didn't like.
The thing I didn't like about that whole transaction was how quickly Bruce Wayne it felt like a give up. Felt like you're like, oh, I killed the Joker and now I'm out. Like be a better Batman, Dick Grayson. I'm leaving Gotham. And it just, if the Batman we know and from the comics is not a quitter, he's a rage monster, and he's gonna he would probably be more violent in than anything instead of just going like, "Oh, I killed somebody. Now I can't be Batman no more."
So I want to break up what we're talking about into these segments. So I want to talk
Let's do it.
about Red
Let's do it.
Hood.
Let's do it. There you go.
Red Hood is one of my favorite characters in DC Comics. I love the story that Jason Todd was killed off by fans, and then Talia al Ghul brought him back via the Lazarus Pit as like a revenge thing to Bruce Wayne, like as a
Hmm.
gotcha. Um, Here's what I do like about Red Hood and Titans. I love the scene where he has the bag of heads and he throws it on the table, very much from Under the Red Hood with Jensen Ackles.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and he's like, I'm the guy now, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's Red Hood. What I don't like is that he is a very diluted version of Red Hood. I don't really care for the I'm a drug addict, the
Yeah.
whole scarecrow toxin thing. Um,
I mean,
Red
Vincent
Hood to
Kartheiser is doing a great job.
He's doing a
We'll
great
talk
job.
to that
Oh
in a
yeah, yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's great, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But you know, Jason Todd as a anti-hero and a villain for the first part of his character arc has always been compelling at the fact that he knows Bruce Wayne is Batman and
Yeah.
he knows all of the moves that Batman is going to make, and it's by evidence in Under the Red Hood where he's fighting Batman and he's matching him move for move, and he has a
Yeah.
knife that cuts
The
Batman's
grappling
rope,
hook that
his
tries to
grappling
grab
hook,
his
and
leg. Yeah.
he slips up by calling him Bruce. Like, I mean, and then in even go so far as to say is in Arkham Knight, the Batman game, where the Arkham Knight is Jason Todd, and like it was the word, when you're a Batman fan and you play it, and I've talked to people who are not like Batman people and played it, and they're like, "Oh man, this is cool!" Like I had no idea. But like, if you're a Batman fan, as soon as you see the Arkham Knight show up and he's like hit him between the joints, that's where he's weakest. Blah blah. You're like, "Oh fuck, yeah, that's Jason Todd. He knows. Like he knows exactly how
Yeah.
Batman is." And
Yeah.
I feel like we're just missing that because of what you said. That Batman just gave up. Like he was just like, I killed the Joker and now I'm a bad guy, and then like I'm gonna go fucking burn myself in my mansion that looks like
Yeah.
Hogwarts in Scotland, and then Donna Troy's gonna save me, and he's like, am I dead? And she's like, no, motherfucker.
No.
And he's like, but
He's
you
like,
are.
"You're
And she's like,
dead."
not
She's like,
anymore.
"No, motherfucker." Dude, that it's to kind of lend a parallel to like literature that people may or may not be aware of. If you ever watched the movie Murder on the Orient Express, it just came out, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh plays Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot is a Belgian detective from Agatha Christie. The reason I bring this up is because Hercule Poirot does not actually like he's so pure in nature that it takes him taking a life to then kill himself. Spoiler alert: the books have been around for over almost a century, but he kills himself as a result. That is a Belgian good detective, genuine person, not somebody who goes out and just bloodies up half of Gotham on a nightly basis. Like
the whole
that is a weird contrast. I
the
don't get it.
whole the whole thing about Red Hood is that Red Hood is mad at Batman because Batman did not kill the Joker after
Right.
he killed him.
It's a
And
complete
you threw all
180.
of that out when Bruce Wayne killed the Joker and then dipped. And like you still kept in the fact that he got brought back by the Lazarus Pit. But now you have the reason why he's losing his mind is because he's doped
Yeah.
up. I'm like, there are so many things that I love about this show. There really are. I really
Yeah.
love the guy who plays Dick Grayson. He is Dick
Oh
Grayson.
yeah.
He is the
He's
Dick.
killing it.
I love the girl who plays Barbara Gordon.
I'm
Their whole
enjoying the shit
chemistry.
out of Starfire.
The
Like,
girl who plays Starfire, the girl who plays Blackfire, um, Gar Logan, fucking Beast Boy is great. Connor, Superboy is great. Like, I mean, even in episode 9 where we finally see Raven and she's like grown up a lot, and you're like, oh, like you're an adult now. Like you were a
what
child the
happened? Oh,
last time I saw you.
COVID. Right. It's
Yeah,
been
COVID. We lost a year.
almost half a decade. You're an adult now.
Um,
It feels weird still.
even
But yeah.
she, like, like she's compelling, and like she's on Themyscira and she's like learning how to be like Amazonian and like the
Yeah.
whole thing. I loved the ninth episode because it was a departure of the Red Hood bullshit that's going on right now.
I have to agree 100%, man. The ninth episode. I mean, I know we're jumping 9 episodes ahead here, but to your point, the parallel in the story between in what we're considering IRL, the real world, where Raven is learning to kind of control her powers and find her zen, etc., on Themyscira, and then on the other side of that, we've got, granted, in the middle we've got Bruce being moody Bruce, which is not
Yeah,
great.
moody fucking Bruce, man.
Like
Just be
Bruce,
Batman. God
yeah,
damn it.
Batman can be brooding, but he doesn't have to be a moody brooding. Like there's brooding between like in general, and
He's
then there's like
essentially playing that fucking character from Game of Thrones, where
yes,
he's like
yes,
puppy
he
dog Og
is.
for Daenerys. Like that's like the character that
Because
he's playing.
I mean, shit, man, turn your heart to stone and start becoming a little more emotionless, like Batman.
I would
And then the
love
other
that they
side of
turned
that,
that around. That he's now that he's that Donna Troy said. I would love to see a complete 180.
as like a sign, and all of a sudden,
Yeah,
like the
like I
last
would
several
love for him to
episodes,
come
he's
back
just
to
like
Batman and like
just
as the kid
decimating.
puts the fucking cowl on and he's just I'm hoping that's where they go.
And he's just so upset. He's like, "All right, that's it. Scarecrow, you're in jail. Fucking
Yeah.
Jason, I'm spanking you. You're going to your room." Like that would be the best. But to your point, then the other part of that is the afterlife, which to me is one of the many things that in comic books is like the fact that life doesn't really quite end, right? Like we've got the Lazarus Pit in DC. We've got even with people like John Constantine who can help people get their soul back. Like there's a crossover and a parallel. You always see like people come back from death.
I was really
But I
worried
like,
that they killed Tim Drake. Oh, buddy.
dude,
I was so worried that Tim Drake was going to be dead.
if
And I was like,
Tim
fuck,
Drake
Tim Drake
was
is such
gonna
a good
die,
Robin.
we should revolt.
Yeah, I was
I
really
was
worried that they were going to kill him.
that when they start like slightly disappearing towards the end of the episode, I'm like, these motherfuckers better be coming
They
back to their
better
own
not,
body.
do not
I
kill Tim Drake.
yeah. So like that to me was always great, and even the afterlife being in black and white was kind of nice. Like just that whole experience and the goofiness with Hawk
How
still
about
being
taking that
there.
one dimensional ass character and giving him some depth over this season? Like, how
I
about
love that
that?
actor.
I
That
love that
guy
actor
in
too.
what's
Wasn't he
the
Aquaman
football
in
show?
Smallville?
Yes, he was. And now he's Hawk in DC. I mean, he's awesome. Every time I
I
see him,
like him
I'm like,
too.
I love that guy. He knows his demographic and he just nails it. He
Yeah,
nails it.
he was great. I loved him
Um,
in this episode.
I definitely, but to your point, I like the separation from that Red Hood character because I feel like I keep saying, there. The point of the Red Hood is his like anger and rage, and what we're seeing is like a very brittle, weak-minded person.
He's a
And that's not
petulant
what Jason
kid,
Todd
like,
is. You know,
and
like
yeah, that's the thing. Like Jason Todd was that when he was dead. And I think here's what I think is the reason, part of the reasoning behind it is that there's no separation.
mm,
Like Jason Todd
yeah,
died in this and was
that's
brought
true.
back the same night via the Lazarus Pit and then came back as the Red Hood the next day. When in the comic books, there's a lot of separation. Like he's brought back to life by Talia al Ghul and then spends the next like 5 to 10 years of his life with the League of Assassins.
Right,
So like
right.
he's disciplined at that point, and then he remembers who he is and all of that at that point. He's not this weak-minded individual, and that's why I think that that's part of the reason why that's the case. And I just realized I'm like a big old fucking nerd. I love comic books so much.
Dude,
But
you're not a big old nerd. I forgot to mention like the only reason I think Batman dies in the comics is because he uses a gun to kill
Dark
Darkseid.
Side.
Yeah,
They
so
pulled the
like he
okey
comes
doke.
full circle. Like,
This
oh,
one-
the thing that started Batman was a
yeah, I
gun
love it.
killing his
In fucking
parents.
Final
When,
Crisis.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so
so
like
good.
you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
People watching, listening, they know what's up. But no, I mean, again, I hated that. Okay, I'm gonna circle things back, just like a good stand-up comedian here. Whenever I see a character that has my last name or my first name, I get a bond with that, right?
Yeah.
Where he beats the shit out of that like drug dealer,
I feel so bad because his
Hawkins.
last name
I
was
was so
Hawkins.
mad. I was like, "Damn it, man! I'm come on, like
Yeah.
we're not drug dealers now. We're drug dealers. Damn
You
it!
got the
Like
guy, you
it's
got
just pick
Hawkins.
another
I mean,
name.
Yeah,
Harkens, change the
Mahavy.
letter. I'm happy. Yeah, come on. One day I'm just be like, hey, there's an Irvin.
Yeah,
He's getting punched by Jason Todd, not me.
yeah.
But too funny, man. It was definitely like I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the content. I'm definitely enjoying the like
Vincent Kartheiser killing
dude.
it.
He
I like a
so
younger
good.
Scarecrow where he's just kind of off the rails.
Like
Um,
he definitely feels like a dope fiend who's kind of like addicted to being evil
yeah,
in a way too, but at the top of his game. You know what I mean? Like, he also comes across a little bit crazy in a sense. It's not it's hard, I think, for people to like do that separation between the Scarecrow, who is a psychiatrist who turns evil, or the Joker, who's just got all those personalities and then thus is evil and crazy, or Harley Quinn, etc. But like he's doing a pretty damn good job of playing like a stoner who also hates everybody. Like he's just
yeah,
I,
it's true.
I want to control everybody with fear, and I
I
love
love
being
the.
high. Like
I also love the little like romances that are going on in the show that Dick
yeah,
Grayson
between
and Barbara
Blackfire and
Gordon are hooking up,
Connor,
and
yeah.
Blackfire, my boy Connor, getting it in. My man Connor hooking up with the hottest girl on the show.
Clapping cheeks, clapping cheeks. Good for
Yeah,
him,
that
man.
was really cool too. I love the fact, I love the fact that Starfire in like the episodes like, oh, so y'all sleeping together, huh?
The funny thing is, like, I'm sitting there going, like, man, he's a clone. He's like 6 years old.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
grown ass adult body, but at the same time, it's 6 years old.
He reminds me of
My,
Rob
my,
Riggle's
my
character from what was it, Step Brothers? Not Step Brothers.
pow. Yeah.
No, Rob Riggle's character from The Goods with Jeremy Piven, where he's like a
Yes.
kid trapped in an adult body.
Yes. Michael Clark Duncan. Yes. No, but to the point is like I like that dynamic. At the same time, it's funny to me because he's supposed to be so innocent and pure, and then we get like a little bit extra, like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And but the worst part is like I feel bad for that character, not the actor, but the character, because like your first one out of the gate is like like a 10.
A 30 out of 10.
You got sorry,
It
brother,
only
you're only
goes
going
downhill from
downhill from
there.
there. Yeah, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts.
I wonder if
Um,
they're gonna do the whole, if they're gonna pull the whole love triangle between Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, and Starfire. Because Starfire and Dick Grayson hook up a lot in the comic books too.
yeah,
I
I
would
feel like this
not
version
like
of
that.
Starfire is a little bit more like,
Yeah, I would really like.
I had a good time.
I would really like just Dick
Mm.
Grayson and Barbara Gordon to hang out because they're pretty cute together.
Let me ask you this: what was your opinion on the reveal that Oracle was not just Barbara Gordon, but
Yeah,
Oracle
that it
was
was
like
that
a
was a
AI?
computer. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was a neat reveal. At the same time, it was like I
I
was
also
hoping she'd like
forgot. Fuck,
find
dude.
all.
The last episode, not this one, but the last one, that fear toxin was released in Gotham. We got nothing to do with that in episode 9. I forgot that that was the end.
And to
Shit.
me, it was like, did we just have this? Oh wait, I'm pretty sure in Batman Begins they put fear toxin in the water supply, and Liam Neeson dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Cillian
alert:
Murphy
Batman
was
Begins.
great as the Scarecrow. Love
Yes,
Cillian
he was.
Murphy.
Yes, Peaky Blinders, killing it.
Man, he's
Which is
good.
like the casting director for that show. Oh, let me get 2 Batman villains. Let me get the Scarecrow. I'm gonna get Bane. I'm waiting
Forgot
for
Tom Hardy was in
Talia
that
to
show.
show up. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Talia,
Um,
yeah.
but
Marion Cotillard.
hot.
Yeah.
I have a type. But no, I'm enjoying the show. I really want to see where this
Me
kind of
too.
leads, and I hope it continues on. Now that like the DC universe is kind of, in their own way, joined with a parent organization or a parent studio, like Marvel did with Disney. DC's joined up with Warner Brothers. I'm hoping that that continues on. I know that the DC kind of those shows and movies and that studio was trying to do stuff, which is why we have Doom Patrol, why we have Titans, and why we
Yeah.
only got one season of Swamp Thing. But like,
Yeah, which is fucked up because that was a good show.
I exactly like that. There's good content there. Swamp Thing is a great character.
Yeah, we got
But
like
now we're
14 seasons of fucking Legends of Tomorrow, which is, and they canceled Constantine. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about
I'm so glad that there are those many seasons of Legends because of John Constantine,
Right, yeah,
and
because
that
he's at
like
least
more
done it.
character accurate. Like he's
Yeah,
a blonde British guy who smokes
just a
cigarettes,
dick, just a
and he's
massive dick.
and he's an
I
asshole.
love it. Yeah,
He's
he's so
wonderful,
good.
and I love
Matt
the fact that
Ryan,
they
dude.
always use him. Matt Ryan, I love they use him to like voice Constantine in
Yep,
every
in the
anime
animated
like
movies
moment.
now.
It's like
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
if
Keanu
you're
Reeves
gonna
was
tie your
great,
brand to
but
something,
yeah,
right? And
but
this supposed to be a part two of that version of Constantine now.
yeah, with Peter Stormare coming back as Lucifer. So
One of my favorite versions of Lucifer. Besides, yeah, here we go. Another thing that came out in the past 3 weeks.
yeah, Tom
Lucifer, the final
Ellis,
season.
Lucifer. That
Tom
show
Ellis is
got
great.
weird. That show got a
Which
little
part?
weird.
Where it became try to
Lucifer,
become God. Spoiler
yeah.
alert.
I mean, I know
It's
that's very
been
comic
several
accurate
years.
and all that stuff. I love the beginning of that show. Just him and
Oh wow, wow.
Chloe's daughter, Trixie. And he's like, "That's a hooker's name." And she's like, "What's a hooker?" Ask your mother.
But oh, Tom Ellis
He's great.
Jesus. And then I've got oh Jesus, you just said his name. Guy from Constantine playing the devil.
Matt Ryan. Oh, Peter Stormare,
Thank you.
who was
My
also
favorite versions.
Chernabog in
Yes.
American Gods, which is
Show me
another
a
show that got
Johnson.
canceled.
I know. But that
That's all I'm.
actor playing the devil, dripping
It
with
was
oil
so
as it
good.
floats down,
Yeah,
so good, so good.
yeah. And
Like
then
a
Tilda
crack
Swinton is
addict who just
Gabriel.
wants to just smell death on you. So good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and like Tilda Swinton crushing it as like this, like almost
androgynous
sexually
Gabriel,
ambiguous. Yeah,
so
exactly.
good. Loved her.
Awesome,
She plays
awesome.
a
But I
great Bob
digress.
Dylan too.
Oh, I I haven't seen that. Oh, not
Yeah,
the docu series or whatever,
yeah,
the nonfiction, historical nonfiction film.
yeah.
Um, but no, I mean, I'm excited to see where DC goes,
Hmm.
not just with Titans, but the rest of their format. I know we've got a couple of things coming out. We got Green Lantern, we've got
Which
Green
we've
Lantern
not seen
3,
anything about. Not
Supergirl. I mean, we've got a lot of like whispers, a lot of like things from Variety.com, which is the pulse of kind of Hollywood these days.
we've seen more of the Batman than shit that has been announced for 5 years.
Yeah,
Like Andy Muschietti's Flash has been around since Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut came out. Since
yeah.
before, I think it was around since Batman v Superman. Like, I
But
mean,
we've talked about it already. How like I personally, I think it's the safe bet, right? Like the COVID and like they're good. You know what they're doing? They're doing the same thing that I just talked about, where they're doing the analytics on.
yeah.
Okay, what's Disney doing? They
It's
got
the
more
reason
money than
why Top Gun
us.
2's been delayed 5 times because they know that their target demographic for Top Gun 2 is
Mhm.
Navy and veterans that are in their 40s and 50s
And that
that
risk,
want to go see the movie in the movie theaters.
the
That's
at
why it's
risk
been delayed.
demographic.
The
Yeah.
at-risk demographic. And
Hmm.
don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, I want to see Top Gun 2 in the fucking theaters.
I love.
My
Oh,
dad joined the
yes,
military because of Top Gun.
bro. I'm definitely seeing that with my dad.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? And then
All
we're
day.
gonna go sing Great Balls of Fire in a fucking barbecue restaurant.
Can I come up with that?
Rest in peace,
And
Goose.
you know what though? You know what though? By the time this movie comes out, you might no longer be in the state you're in. You might be back down in the HR. You know what I'm saying?
That could
Back in
be.
that
By the time this movie comes
7
out, Mike Mahaffey might be 100.
Uh,
I'm just doubling down on that joke.
no, I
And as
know,
soon
man, but it was
as,
so
soon as
good.
the
I
the
mean,
podcast is
I
gonna
wanted
end,
to
he's gonna be
stick with
so
my
mad.
hands every time something was being rebooted, but like you're actually throwing the zingers out there.
Man, just
He's just taking pop shots, but I appreciate it.
no, he's not here to
But
defend
no,
himself.
that's right. Too bad, so sad. But no, I'm excited about what's coming. I think this is a great introduction back after a little bit of vacation.
Yeah,
What did
I
you do
think
for
so.
your birthday to round things out? Let's bring it
Fuck
all home.
nothing, man. I had a cake and hung out at home, and I went to Top Golf the weekend before, which was pretty cool. And waited
Nice,
for three and a
nice.
half hours to get into Top Golf, but
What?
just drank,
What?
which was fun. Yeah,
Did you not just go to another bar, or oh, well, they got a
yeah, it was
bar
fun.
there?
They got a bar there. We got a table, so it was nice. What about you? What'd you do?
I went to the hospital,
The hospital.
and I was there, and they were like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "We're gonna do stuff." I'm like, "All right, cool." And then I was forced to be by myself for 3 days, not COVID related. Another potential thing with poop involved, and that was great because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere, and nobody was allowed to come and talk to me. It was awesome. You know what? You know what silence is like. Now I've got a almost 4 month old. Golden,
Yeah.
golden. I'm not on purpose trying to be sick, but in case of fire, I might just have to break glass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta go. Well, I'm gonna be in the hospital. But no, it was that was horrific. I had a little bit of a vacation. Got to go to the beach. I don't know if you could tell. I'm a little more just as white as I was when I
Well, we're
left,
glad you're
and
feeling better. Fuck.
I appreciate that. Nah, you know what? At this point, I'm just glad to be around, man. Feeling good. Back
We have
on
to
it. Got a
stay around
colonoscopy
because
next week.
you
It's
got
gonna
to
be
stay
gross.
around till at least Top Gun 2 comes out in 7 to 10
I
years.
know, I know. 10 years, it'll be great. Like, imagine Top Gun comes out, and they're no longer using like the model of planes in the film. How
Right.
pissed off is Tom Cruise going to be?
He's going to be so
Like,
pissed.
I mean, just say like tomorrow they'll be like, "Hey, we just announced like the F-55 million, and we're totally retiring whatever the Raptors we're using now." And they're like, "Fuck!" Like they have to reshoot every single plane scene. Tom Cruise is gonna be like, "I don't know if the Church of Scientology can actually afford this anymore."
I don't think he's a
Or-
Scientologist anymore.
I thought you weren't allowed to opt out of it. What's her name?
It's not like fucking MS-13 where you get beat out of it.
I thought it was like the Hotel California. Like you can check out anytime you like, but you can never
That
leave.
shows up a lot in Shang-Chi as well.
Are you serious?
That song.
All right, stop giving me spoilers, you beautiful, beautiful baby.
November 12th.
No,
Go watch it.
November 12th, 11, 12, 2021. It's going to happen.
Ooh,
But
Venom comes
once
out next
again,
week. I'm going to see that.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's
It's another movie we won't talk about until it comes out and you can watch it. And then the week after that,
maybe
James Bond comes out. And I'm going to see that.
his last Daniel Craig film.
Yeah.
So new releases next week. Going to be
There's a
big.
new release every single week. A new big movie
Dude,
comes out every single week for the next 2 months.
we're hitting like the really the strong throws again. We talked
cannot
about this for weeks
fucking
now. We
wait.
really are rolling into the holiday season. I can't wait for it. I'm excited about it. It just means our show's got legs. We went through the hardest part of it, the early summer when people are actually doing vacations, not playing
Yeah.
video games, watching movies and TV shows. This is going to be dope. If you are a fan, please like and subscribe. Watch us on Twitch. If you don't want to watch on Twitch on 8 o'clock, go to YouTube, subscribe, get notifications every time we put up a brand new episode, or break those down into segments. Every one of these segments we release once a week or one day a week, all week long. Go to social, check us out there. If we're not talking about it here on the show, more than likely it's out on social, and we've got our opinions and a little bit of blurbs out there for it. Or if you just want to support the show, give it a like. Who cares? It's a like. It's easy. Turn off the
Just smack that
notifications.
bell.
Mute us. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck.
Hit
Smack the
like,
button.
subscribe,
It ain't
smash the
that
bell.
hard.
I am Ernie Hawkins, as always, at Ernie UXD.
I am Dominic Irvin at Hemophilia at all that.
It's still a weird name. It's still a weird
I
name.
love it, dude.
Joystick Maverick and all the other places. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.